Okay, fifth graders. Here's your sheet. Instead of taking a picture of it, I'm using my little Chrome tablet. I'll just use the little arm overhead document camera. So let's see here. This first page here that you guys needed to do, and there's 2 pages, I believe. Classify each triangle, right? Isosceles, scalene, or equilateral. Well, of course, it would help to know what each one of these are. I think if you were to go back on the third 1, 2, 3, well, that kind of helps. What page is it where we're talking about those definitions? Was it here? No, I'm still looking. Equilateral. There we go. Okay, so what is this? Page 469 in your handout that I gave you, which is, it's, I don't know, probably like the 5th page in. So there's a definition of an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, and a scalene. All right, kind of gives you an idea what they are. So an equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides. An isosceles triangle has just 2 congruent sides. And they're talking about the length of, hey there, the length of the sides. I'm doing a video, so I'm just going to keep working on it. Is that all right?
Okay, do you want these? They're pocket folders.
Oh, how many are there?
There's this one, and then a bunch of clear ones over here.
Yeah, I'll take them. Leave them right there.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
All right. And a scalene triangle has 0 congruent sides. And we talked about this just today, I think. And so none of the sides are congruent. What does congruent mean? It means the same here. So this is 3 inches long, this is 4 inches long, and this is 5 inches long. So none of them are the same length. This has 2 congruent. 2 sides are the same. They're both 3 inches here. Look at this one. It has all 3 sides. All 3 sides are 3 inches. So let's go back to this here. So not only do you have to classify each one, then write acute, obtuse, or right. Well, you guys should know what these are by now. And if you haven't memorized these, you need to do so. Okay? So acute is less than 90 degrees, obtuse is more than 90 degrees, and a right triangle has a 90-degree angle in it. And so let me just as a reminder here, if I was to draw this, and then you were to see a triangle with a little box there on the corner, you know that means that this angle happens to be 90 degrees. Okay? But let's go back to number 1 here. So first off, this is 12 feet, this is 11 feet, this is 14 feet. So what do we call a triangle where none of the sides are the same length? You guys remember? Well, go back to that page if you don't, but it's the scalene. Okay? And then you need to write if it's acute, obtuse, or right. Well, are any of these angles more than 90 degrees? No. So it's acute. All right? And remember what these this single line here represents? It means that these 2 are the same length. Okay? And that this one here is not the same. It's a different length. All right? And then you could look at this one here, and then they each have a single mark. I don't know what else to call it. And that means that all 3 of these are the same length. So what's that called? Well, is it an isosceles, a scalene, or an equilateral? Yeah, equilateral. This should be an IL. There we go. All right. And then it is an acute, obtuse, or right. Acute, this is less than 90 degrees, and an obtuse is more than 90 degrees. And a right is 90 exactly. Okay? I'm going to let you guys finish those answers on your own. Let's move down here. It says a triangle has sides with the lengths and the angle measures given. Okay, so these are the lengths of the sides right here.
Wrong room. Sorry.
That's all right. And so here's two sides that are 3.5, so that tells us something right there. And then the angles, they give us the angles. And what's the one we're really comparing everything to? It's 90 degrees, okay? If it's less than 90, it's acute. If it's more than 90, it's obtuse. If it's exactly 90, it's a right triangle. So just like we did up here with these, except that they don't show you the triangle, they just give you the information, fill those out. Okay? I think you guys can do that. So this has two sides that are identical, two lengths. Do you remember? Well, go back. If you don't remember, go back and look. Which page was that on here? Right here. Two congruent sides, right here. That's an isosceles triangle. Okay? Was that one of the choices? It sure was. Look at that, isosceles. So this is an isosceles triangle. Okay? And then the angles are 27, 27, and 126. That's a wide angle. Here's 90 degrees. Let me bring this up here. Here's 90 degrees, approximately. Well, if it's more than 90, it's opening up even more. Okay? If it's less than 90, it's going to be closer together. So this is 126. So it's going to be an obtuse. Okay? And I'll let you figure that one out for yourself. Let's bring this back down. All right. 6 says, circle the figure that does not belong. Explain. Well, what's two of these have something that's the same? What is it? Okay. There's a 90-degree angle. There's a 90-degree angle. There's two obtuse triangles. Or not obtuse, two 90-degree or two right angles, rather. Okay. All right. Number 7 here. It says, draw two equilateral triangles that are congruent and share a side. What polygon is formed? Is it a regular polygon? Well, you think about that. I'm going to let you guys do that one on your own. Draw two equilateral triangles. Okay, so if you're not sure, again, go back 2 pages. There's a picture of an equilateral triangle. Maybe you could even just draw that. Okay, well, but I don't know. Maybe, what else does it want? Oh, you got to draw 2 of them that are congruent. What does congruent mean? They're the same. So these 2 triangles have to be the same, and they share a side. Well, I'm not going to draw this for you, but here's what I am going to do. When they say they share a side, what if they said draw 2 squares that are congruent and share a side? Well, here's one square, okay? And here's another square. All right? They share a side, this right here. And they are congruent. Let's say each side is 2 inches long. Okay? So, but they're asking you to do it not with squares, they're asking you to do it with triangles. So, let's see if you guys can figure that one out. All right? All right, next page. Number 8. All right. Number 8 says, Shannon said that there's a triangle with exactly 2 congruent sides and an obtuse angle that is an equilateral obtuse triangle. Describe her error. Well, a triangle must have 3 congruent sides. That means 3 sides that are the same to be an equilateral triangle. I'll say that again. A triangle must have 3 congruent sides. I'm not going to write it down because you guys just tend to copy what I write down. I want you to, you can just listen to what I said. An equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides and 3 congruent angles. Okay? And you can't have an obtuse if it's an equilateral. All right? So you'd write down what I said or put it in your own words. All right, number 9 here. Kelly drew a triangle with exactly 2 congruent sides and 3 acute angles. Which of the following accurately describes the triangle? 2 congruent sides and 3 acute angles. I think on that page we had one that was like that. Going back to this again. Nope. Did I go too far? Or not far enough? Yeah, here it is. What did it say? 2 congruent sides, 2 sides that are the same, and 3 acute angles. Yeah, I'm seeing it right here. 2 congruent sides and 3 acute, that's less than 90-degree, angles. So it would look like that. Hey there. That's all right. I'm just recording the video. I'll be done here in a moment. All right, so mark the ones that would apply out of these 4 choices here. Okay, and the last part here, let's see here. What makes triangles good for the construction of building and bridges? The 3 fixed lengths of the sides of a triangle, when joined, can form no other shape. So when pushed, triangles don't bend or break. All right. It says, classify the triangles in the structures below. Write isosceles, scalene, or equilateral, and then write acute, obtuse, or right. Well, we've done this kind of thing before. So, anyways, back to what they've drawn here. If you have a box shape, and here's the force, well, what's going to break? Well, you know, these are going to bend out, and these will also bend out. Okay. This is going to collapse, okay? But when you have a triangle here, it's much stronger. No bend or break. So for 10 and 11 here, you're just doing what we did on the previous page. You're writing isosceles, scalene, or equilateral. So just look at the little triangles that they've got here. I mean, here's one. I don't know how well that shows up in the video here. And you can see the triangles in this. Okay. All right. So that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow.